Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB game scheduled for Wednesday, August 6, 2025. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your baseball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily rundown best bet in Major League Baseball, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alright, here we go. Here are the games for Wednesday, Major League Baseball. First up, we've got the Baltimore Orioles taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. We've got Trevor Rogers and Ranger Suarez as the projected starters. Two lefties on the mound that are having great seasons overall. But when you look at this matchup, Rogers, of course, pitched with the Marlins for a while. He has faced this Phillies roster before, 100 plate appearances against the current Phillies lineup. Good strikeout rate, but a very high walk rate and a 350 xWOBA with a 420 expected slugging percentage. Not the best numbers, and the Phillies have hit lefties very well in the last couple of weeks and really in the last month overall. You look at the Orioles, they've really improved their game offensively against lefties in the last month, in the last couple of weeks. And that current roster, the Orioles' current roster, has pretty good numbers against Suarez, albeit in a much smaller sample size, just 26 plate appearances, but a low strikeout rate and a high xWOBA. It's decent hitting weather here in the afternoon for this Phillies-Orioles game at Citizens Bank Park. I think because of these two great pitchers, two sub-3 ERA starters, we actually can get a decent price on the over in this game. I don't love the current makeup, really, of the Orioles bullpen, and we've seen the Phillies bullpen also struggle, even with their additions. The Phillies bullpen not necessarily immune to giving up some runs late. So I think we see some runs early and often and late. I think we go over the total in Orioles-Phillies. Next up, we've got the San Francisco Giants taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. We've got Robbie Ray and Andrew Heaney as the starters. I'm going to lean towards the Giants in this game. Robbie Ray doesn't have the best numbers against the current Pirates roster, but the same thing goes for Andrew Heaney in a larger sample size. I just trust the Giants bullpen and honestly line up a little bit more in this matchup, even though I've talked about San Francisco's offensive struggles this season. I think this is a game that's tough, and I think honestly overall, Wednesday's card in Major League Baseball, not my favorite. There's a few games that I think are kind of coin toss pick'ems. This is one of them. It's a game I'll be staying away from. But if I had to lean, it would be the San Francisco Giants on the money line. Next up, we've got the Cleveland Guardians and the New York Mets. We've got Gavin Williams and David Peterson as the projected starters. Now, while I've mentioned over the last couple of seasons that David Peterson's got great numbers on paper, but not the best expected numbers, underlying numbers, the expected ERA, the xFIP just aren't really on his side, but he's been able to, pretty much unsustainably so, get through these innings in the regular seasons the last 2 years and put together great seasons, and that's been the case in 2025. I think Peterson's going to be okay. The Guardians have definitely improved against left-handed pitching as of late, so it's not necessarily a great, easy matchup for him, but I think he gets the run support. The New York Mets, their offense has been a little bit inconsistent in the last couple of weeks against both lefties and righties, more towards the negative side of things, but Gavin Williams has just not been the same pitcher on the road as he's been at Progressive Field. At Progressive Field this season, about 65 innings, great strikeout rates, got 74 strikeouts in 65 innings, 208 opponent's batting average with a sub-3 ERA, 5-2 record. But on the road, that ERA is above 4. The strikeout rate is much, much lower. He's only got 43 Ks in 51 in the third innings, a 241 opponent's batting average. And you just look at his recent form. His last two home games, 13 innings combined of one-run ball with 19 strikeouts. His last two road games against the Royals and White Sox, not necessarily the best lineups in baseball, even though the White Sox have improved recently, combined 11 innings, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 home runs, and 7 walks with only 8 strikeouts. So less than a strikeout per inning, the walks piling up on the road. You've already got a situation where Juan Soto's had 4 at-bats against Williams in the past. He's got a home run against Williams, has made some sharp contact. I think he could go yard again in this game. I think the Mets walk away with the victory. Give me the Mets on the money line. Next up, we've got the Minnesota Twins and the Detroit Tigers. Jack Flaherty for Detroit, no official starter right now for Minnesota. Flaherty's not having the best season overall, but he's pitching really well as of late. In the month of July, 25 in the third innings, 37 strikeouts, a sub-4 ERA. The Tigers only went 2-3 in those games. They even lost his most recent game in August. 6 innings, 1 run, 7 strikeouts. Great start, but still a 5-4 loss for Detroit. And overall, that's been the case for the Tigers. Whether it's Flaherty struggles or they don't back him up, they have lost a good amount of his games, a majority of his starts, despite the great record the Tigers have overall. So that's always a concern. But in the current state, I think that the Tigers are just too much here for the Minnesota Twins. I'm going to lean towards Detroit. Again, not my favorite game on the board. This is just not a great card, and we're going to say that a lot in the second half of the season. Sometimes these baseball cards, you just don't find a lot of value as the lines get sharper and sharper as the season goes on. But this is another game where I'll just lean towards Detroit. Next up, we've got the Cincinnati Reds and the Chicago Cubs. We've got Andrew Abbott and Cade Horton as the starters. It looks to be pretty good pitcher-friendly weather in this game at Wrigley Field, and two good starting pitching options. I mean, Cade Horton's having a great rookie campaign, more so with his work at Wrigley Field. He's not been great on the road, but 39 innings at Wrigley, 1.85 ERA, and a 219 opponent's batting average. Love to see him miss some more bats going forward, earn some more strikeouts, but just 3 home runs given up in those roughly 40 innings at Wrigley. You can't beat that. On the other side, Andrew Abbott, very consistent and certainly the best option in this Reds rotation this year. He's been actually a little bit better at Great American with a little bit lower ERA, but a 2.28 ERA on the road is also not too shabby. So I think we see a low-scoring game. I've mentioned my reservations with both of these bullpens at times this season, and that Reds bullpen has been worked quite heavily recently, but I think it'll be good enough to keep us under the total at Wrigley Field. Next up, we've got the Yankees and the Rangers. We've got Carlos Rodon and Jack Leiter as the starters. Honestly, it's tough to have a lot of faith in the Yankees these days, especially in a matchup like this with Carlos Rodon, who's had a great season overall. He's earning a ton of strikeouts recently, but he's giving up a lot of sharp contact, and his control's been off quite a bit. He's given up 4 home runs and 6 walks his last 2 games combined against the Marlins and Phillies. The Yankees have lost 2 of his last 3 games. You got a Rangers team that has not had great numbers against lefties overall in 2025, but they've definitely improved in the last couple of weeks, and I think that they actually have a pretty good matchup with Rodon because they're able to work pitch counts, and I think they're going to be able to get him out of the game before that 6th inning, or maybe 6 innings at the most. Then you have a Yankees bullpen that's got big names on paper, and it's great on paper, but just hasn't been able to work out in a lot of these situations, including the first game of the series. So for me, Jack Leiter's pitching some of his best baseball of his career so far. He's had 7+ strikeouts in 3 straight games. He's given up 2 earned runs or fewer in 4 of his last 5 games, and the Rangers are 3-1 in his last 4 starts. I got to roll with the Rangers in this one on the money line. Next up, the Toronto Blue Jays and the Colorado Rockies from Coors Field. We got Kevin Gausman and Kyle Freeland as the starters. Of course, Gausman's been around the block, pitching at the major league level for quite a while, pitching in both the American and National Leagues. So he's pitched at Coors Field before. He's actually got a decent sample size there, and he's also pitched pretty well there with a sub-4 ERA. I think he'll be good enough. I've had my concerns with Gausman this year. His last game, 5 runs, 2 home runs. I just don't think he's been as dominant in 2025, especially with the home run ball and even the walks at times. I mean, recently he's done a better job at limiting the walks, but Gausman, just a couple of years ago, his per 9 strikeouts, home runs, and walks per 9 were spotless. This year, just not so much. He's less than a strikeout per inning. The walks, like we said, have piled up at times, and 17 home runs, just not what we're used to seeing from Gausman. He's given up at least 1 home run in 4 of his last 5 games. All that being said, though, he's still got a great lineup behind him. I think the matchup against Freeland's okay, and I think that the Blue Jays, really the best matchup for them offensively is against this Rockies bullpen, where I think they'll be able to run up the score a little bit. So give me the Blue Jays on the run line on the road. Next up, we've got the Rays and the Angels. Shane Baz and Tyler Anderson are your starters. Another game where I do kind of view it as a coin flip situation. I think Shane Baz is a lot more potential, a lot more upside to his game, but he has struggled this year and most recently. And the thing is, both of these starting pitchers have been dreadful in terms of money line betting in the most recent 5 starts. I mean, the Rays are 0-5 in Baz's last 5 games. The Angels are 1-4 in Anderson's last 5 starts. But like I said, I do think that Baz has a lot more upside. I think he's got good strikeout stuff. I think the Rays can get to Anderson, even though their lineup has been very inconsistent recently. And also, another difference maker, I think the Rays had the much better bullpen in this game. So I will side with Tampa Bay on the money line on the road, but not my favorite game on the board. Next up, we've got the Astros and the Marlins. We got Spencer Arrighetti and Jansen Junk as the starters. We talked about Jansen Junk was pitching well. He still has pretty good numbers on the season, but the underlying numbers, the expected numbers, not great, and we do expect him to continue to regress as the season goes along. His last 3 games, it's been 5 innings each. He gave up 4, 3, and 6 earned runs. A lot of base hits to go with it. Not really great strikeout stuff, though it's improved a little bit as of late. And I think that the Astros will be able to get to him for a few runs early. The thing is, Spencer Arrighetti is returning for his first start since April. He did not pitch well in that last game, but that was a long time ago. You look at his rehab start, though, most recently, it was also just not a great outing. His control was way off. He had great strikeout numbers. We know he's got great strikeout stuff, but the walks and the home runs piled up, and I think he could be in trouble in his very first game back. Eventually could be a great option for the Astros in this rotation. I still definitely believe in Arrighetti's game long term as a really good member of this Astros rotation, but right now, the first game back against this pesky Marlins lineup, we've seen a lot of overs at Lone Depot Park this year, especially at the beginning of the season. I think we see another over in this one. Give me the over Astros Marlins. Next up, the Athletics and the Nationals. No official starter right now for Washington, but Jeffrey Springs should be going for the A's. He has a pretty good matchup here, facing a Nationals team that in the last couple of weeks has been pretty dreadful against left-handed pitching. And you look at Springs, he's pitched pretty well himself. His last 5 games, giving up 2 earned runs or fewer in 3 of his last 5, 3 runs or fewer in 4 of his last 5, with 4-1 record to go with it. And you look at those wins: Braves, Blue Jays, Astros, Mariners, some pretty tough teams along the way. And some of those games were at home, where a lot of these athletic starters have struggled this year, and obviously the A's record at home has been pretty miserable, but Springs was able to get the job done. He's missing some bats. He has been one of those starting pitchers that we said more towards the middle of the season. He's tough to read. He's been very inconsistent, so we'll have to see if he can fare well here, but I think he does. I'm going to roll with the Athletics on the money line. Next up, we've got the Royals and the Red Sox. We got Michael Wacha facing his former team, and Dustin May pitching for the first time as the Boston Red Sox. Now, Michael Wacha, even though the Royals have not always backed him up and they've lost a majority of his starts since the month of June, I still think it's tough to go against him in this situation, as he's given up just 4 earned runs combined his last 4 games, 1 earned run apiece in those 4 starts. And you could say it's been a pretty weak strength of schedule, the Guardians, Mets, Marlins, and Blue Jays. But the Blue Jays was a tough matchup, 8 innings, 1 run, 5 strikeouts in a 9-3 Royals win. And Wacha, of course, a member of the Red Sox for just 1 season, but he's pitched at Fenway Park about 65 innings in his career with a sub-3 ERA. Fenway Park is considered a hitter-friendly ballpark. Not easy to put together those types of numbers in that large of a sample size, but Fenway's always been a place that Wacha's pitched well at. I think he pitches well in this game, and the question is, can the bullpen and lineup back him up? I think they can. I'm not really a big fan of Dustin May. I don't really love the trade made by the Red Sox at the deadline. Didn't really make a lot of sense to me. And I think that, May, obviously his last start gave up 4 runs to these Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park, a home run to go with it. Wasn't a great outing. I think the Royals get to him. I think the Royals win this game on the money line on the road. Next up, we've got the Brewers and the Braves. We've got Jose Quintana and Spencer Strider as the starters. The Braves have actually been quite solid against lefties in the last couple of weeks, and we've talked about Jose Quintana as having a great season, but the expected numbers aren't great, and I do think we see him regress as the season goes along. We've seen signs of that already. I mean, at one point he had a sub-3 ERA for quite a while, and now it's up in the mid-3s. I think it'll be at least above 4, maybe even the mid-4s by the end of the regular season. So the Brewers have a lot of pitchers in this rotation now. Some great arms. Maybe Quintana moves to the bullpen. I think he will by the postseason. But in this spot, I just think it's a lopsided pitching matchup. I think Strider's the much better option. The Braves should be able to back him up. So while it's tough to go against Milwaukee, I will go against them in this spot with the Braves on the money line. Next up, we've got the Mariners and the White Sox from T-Mobile Park. We've got Jonathan Cannon and George Kirby on the mound. George Kirby coming off a great outing. He's been a little bit inconsistent in 2025. Injuries have played a role in that, but 6 innings, 6 strikeouts, a shutout baseball against a division rival in a 6-0 Mariners win. They've won 4 of his last 5 games, and those last 3 victories, they were all run-line covers. I think we see another run-line cover here. And those last 3 wins, 15-7, 7-2, and 6-0. Blowout victories. I think we could see something similar, as Jonathan Cannon has given up 11 earned runs and 4 home runs his last 2 games combined. Give me the Mariners on the run line in this one. Next up, the final game for Wednesday's card in Major League Baseball. We got Nestor Cortes and Anthony DeSclafani for this Padres-Diamondbacks matchup. Cortes, similar to Arrighetti, making his first start back since April after the long-term injury, but unlike Arrighetti, Cortes pitched really well in his rehab starts, even though it was a pretty small sample size. I think Cortes, though, pitches well in this game. I don't expect him to go too deep into this ball game, but I think he gets the run support. DeSclafani, don't think he's a viable starting pitching option in this league anymore. Maybe a decent reliever. He was actually pitching quite well out of the bullpen for Arizona, but as a starter, I just don't think so. 2 1/3 innings his last game, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, a home run, no strikeouts. I just think the Padres get to them early and often and win this game in blowout fashion. So give me San Diego on the money line and maybe even the run line on the road. And that's it. Those are the games for Wednesday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com, and there is a link in the description. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.